Welcome, everyone, to the TEDxAmsterdam Women Workshop. I'm here with Executive Chef Onno Kokmeijer, 2 Michelin star chef. It is my great honor to be working with him today. My name is Sarah Britton. I am a vegetarian chef, food blogger, and holistic nutritionist. And Onno and I have worked together this week. We've joined forces, if you will, and we've created a very cool menu that I am very proud of. I'm very proud to work with this man. And what we're doing is really playing to both of our strengths. So I'm a holistic nutritionist. That's my background, as I mentioned. And what I like to do is focus on healthy, plant-based, natural foods. And Onno's specialty is, of course, elevating the everyday to spectacular new possibilities. And
not all vegetarian.
not all vegetarian, but I must say that this man has an extremely open mind. And I'm so excited that you've embraced all the crazy things that I've brought into your kitchen.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you.
Yes. So today we're going to be making a couple things for you, but the amuse-bouche that you just had was a celeriac tuile with a goat's cheese filling with hemp seeds. Don't worry, you will stay sober. With a little bit of chia on the ends. So the cool thing about what I do is, again, I'm constantly learning about what foods do in the body. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about why we chose to do this first thing for you. The goat cheese, for example, is a fantastic food, even for people that are lactose intolerant and people that have often trouble digesting milk. The enzymes that are present in goat's milk actually remain there after pasteurization, which means that it's much easier to digest than cow's milk, which is great. And inside, again, I mentioned, are the hemp seeds. These are becoming more widely available now, and they're fantastic food because they're extremely high in protein and the perfect omega-3 to 6 balance that we actually need in the human body. So they're a wonderful food to add to your diet. They're great in smoothies. And the chia seeds, which were the little black seeds on the end that looked like poppy seeds, these are my absolute favorite superfood. They're one of the highest sources of omega-3 fatty acids found in the diet. And omega-3s are very important for brain development. Well, every cell of our body is surrounded in fat. So it's essential to get very good fats, like the omega-3s. And you can make a fantastic egg with chia in baking. If you mix 1 part chia, 1 tablespoon chia, to 3 parts water, 3 tablespoons water, you get an egg. So if you're baking for a vegan, for example, or if you're looking to reduce the animal products in your diet, this is a great way to do it. It's very, very cool. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy the amuse, and we'll get started.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yes, take it away, Onno.
Yeah, my name is Onno Kokmeijer. I'm the chef of the Ciel Blue kitchen on the 23rd floor of the Okura Hotel for 10 years now. And I'm also inspired by how Samantha is thinking, and we meet each other last week. And it's also for me quite interesting to see what we can do, of course, with raw food, but also, in the summertime you only eat raw food.
Well, I'm a seasonal eater, so I do
okay.
predominantly raw in the summer, and then I like to actually do cooked food in the winter. Yes.
One of our dish, and we're going to start when we have only 45 minutes, and we like also to show for you the experience to taste all the dishes what we make after the workshop. It's a celeriac. We make holes inside, and we put the cinnamon inside, and then we will package it in a salt crust with a pink salt from the Himalaya.
Yes.
You have a nice story about it.
Yeah, I'll tell you about it.
And I will mix the salt with egg white. And egg white, like this, is white. It's like a foam.
And how do you get the egg whites like this, Onno?
In the mixer.
Okay. Can you do it by hand?
You can also do by hand. It takes longer, but that's no problem. If you have time.
Workout for the day. We're using as Onno mentioned, we're using this pink Himalayan salt today. Salt's gotten a bit of a bad rap in recent years in relation to elevated blood pressure. But when you are actually eating less processed foods, you in fact need to add salt. It's something that my doctor's always trying to tell me. It's like, Sarah, you need more salt in your diet because I have very low blood pressure. But it's important actually to remember that salt is and can be a really good source of minerals in your diet. So this pink Himalayan salt, you'll see, is a really, really beautiful color. And it comes in these flakes, which is actually very nice, as we say, to pinch. It's a good way to be able to measure the salt out when you're cooking. And it contains an array of minerals that are essential for the human body. Whereas table salt, which is typically iodized, it's not the iodine necessarily that's bad for you. It's what the companies will actually add into the salt to prevent it from clumping, which are actually very harmful to the human body. I'm going to go as far as say almost as bad as white sugar, although, of course, we'll be eating less of it on a day-to-day basis, hopefully. Yeah, so when you buy salt, get some good Celtic sea salt or some pink Himalayan salt, and you'll be adding much-needed minerals to your diet, and it also tastes far, far better than the other stuff.
Mij niet, of?
Nee, sorry, ga je gang.
Okay.
Okay.
So we
So-
mix the egg white with the salt. For the recipe, you need about 300 of the Himalaya sea salt with 100 grams of egg white. And we will mix it with the cumin. Very flavorful, very tasteful. And also the flavor is going inside the celeriac. A little bit, not too much. It's quite heavy. And we mix it together.
Klein beetje mij laten zien, camera. Thank you.
So what's going to happen is when we actually put the salt crust around the celeriac, it's going to infuse the salts and all the spices into the actual root vegetable itself. Celeriac is an amazing, amazing vegetable. So this is the root of the celery plant. So normally there'd be these, shoots of celery coming out. They seem to be very popular in Europe. I never saw this until I moved to Denmark, actually, but I fell in love with this vegetable. It's extremely low in calories, and it's actually very high in vitamin K, which helps and prevent osteoporosis because it helps the osteoplastic activity in our body. And that's the kind of action that actually builds bones. So it's very good in the prevention of osteoporosis for that reason. It's also very high in fiber. And as we know, fiber helps us feel full, helps lower cholesterol. And this is a really unique way of cooking. I was really excited that Onno wanted to do something like this because
It's
it's
quite
beautiful.
classic. We do also a lot in sea salt with the fish, of course, and also the pigeon.
Yeah, so it's more typical to do a salt crust with meat, in fact. But
Yeah.
since we're not going to be eating meat today, we'll do
No.
it with a veggie head.
You have the smell already over here. It's,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
It's amazing. So Onno, how long does this need to be cooked for?
1 hour, 50 minutes. Of course, you have to see the celery, but now the season they are quite small. But you have also the bigger ones.
Yeah.
What we tasted last week, it was for 2 hours in the oven.
Wow, it was huge too. It was like,
And you
it
put
was like this.
Yeah, you put in the oven 160 degrees,
Okay.
and then keep it for the small ones 1 hour, 50 minutes is enough. But give it also the time to rest. It's quite important.
Because it's
If
going
we
to be
take
so...
it out of the oven and also rest for 1 hour, and then all the heat and the flavors are still inside, and that's nice. So the salt is around the celeriac. Make it a little bit nice.
Yeah, this is going to keep its shape entirely. So give it a little finesse at the end.
And please put the cinnamons before, otherwise you don't see the holes anymore.
Yeah.
Sometimes happen.
Gorgeous.
So like this, and then we put some cloves inside.
Kind of looks like a crazy space helmet.
It is, yeah. But you will taste after the workshop all the flavors, the cumin, also the salt, the cinnamon, of course, but also the cloves. All the flavors you will taste it after.
Yeah, I was actually blown away by how flavorful the deep interior of the celeriac root was just by coating the outside. It was very, very cool.
So we put nothing on the celeriac, no oil, nothing. Only washed.
Gorgeous. Clove is actually a really interesting spice. It contains a substance called eugenol, which is a natural painkiller. I don't think I would go to the dentist and chew on that as a preventative measure, but that's actually what they used to do. You can actually buy clove oil as well, which is wonderful for cleansing the breath, but also reducing any tooth pain, if that's what you have. Gorgeous.
That's it.
Nice
So
work,
this
Chef.
one is going in the oven
Yep.
for 1 hour and 50 minutes. Thank you, Arnie.
All right. Are there any questions so far? We're good? Excellent. Great. So we're going to move on and do
The other dish?
the other dish, our appetizer. I'm really excited about this one.
Yeah, you like this one, I know.
I love it. It's amazing. So, yes, Onno was inspired by this whole idea of raw food. So we're going to do a combination of both cooked and raw dishes, or elements, rather. We're going to base this on cauliflower. I really love cauliflower a lot. And the cool thing is, at this time of year, because it's in season, you're going to be seeing a lot more different colors of cauliflower coming out. So, of course, we all know the nice white cauliflower like this. But there are many varieties. So we have the purple cauliflower like this. We have Romanesco, which is the trippiest plant I've ever seen. Yeah, I mean, look at this thing. It's outrageous. It's pretty beautiful and really fun. So we're going to actually keep these whole as much as possible. We'll show you how to do that later. And then there's also, do we have any orange cauliflower?
No, the orange we don't have?
No, we don't have the orange. But the orange is there too.
Yeah.
One thing to look for when you're buying vegetables, it's a bit of a cliche now, but the whole eating a rainbow thing, it's actually very important. So just taking the cauliflower, for instance, the purple cauliflower itself has something called anthocyanins. And whenever you see a dark purple or blue or very deep red vegetable, you know that there's anthocyanins in them. Anthocyanins are a very powerful antioxidant. Of course, we know antioxidants are premature age fighters. We could all use a little more of that. So that's good. And then the orange cauliflower, what do you think of when you think of orange? Beta carotene? Anybody? Maybe? Carrots, exactly. So carrots are also a wonderful source of beta carotene, as well as many of the vegetables this time of year. So the pumpkins and the squashes, we've got a little Hokkaido here. So these are all loaded with beta carotene, which is, again, an anti-aging compound, an antioxidant. It's the precursor to vitamin A. Yeah. All right.
Great, now we're going to work, of course, with all the colors. You have also the yellow one, the orange one, we know. We start with the white one. We will also use the purple one for the dish, and of course the Romanesco. But also the pastinac is now the season, and this is a great,
Yeah. These are
great
parsnips,
vegetable.
or pastinac.
Pastinac.
Parsnips. Wow, these are really beautiful ones too. Parsnips are great, actually. These are very similar to celeriac in their nutritional content. So the very, very high source of vitamin K. Great source of vitamin C, in fact. You can eat these raw, believe it or not. They're delicious raw. I like to make, peel it first, and then julienne it into very fine strips, and then just mix it with olive oil and lemon juice and some salt. Bob's your uncle. It's delicious. So Onno here is, he's made a mousseline, which is a very fancy word for mash. So he's made this mash. This is awesome. It's mind-blowing.
It's a mousseline.
It's a mousseline. The mousseline is pastinac, or parsnip rather, and white chocolate. So white chocolate has something called cacao butter in it. And cacao butter is a wonderful fat for the human body. It's fantastic skincare. If you want to stop buying cream, well, not white chocolate. Don't rub white chocolate on yourself. But you can use cacao butter. And so that's, when we eat white chocolate, it's that cacao butter that gives it the richness. So if you did not want to use pure white chocolate, you could actually just use cacao butter and then a slight sweetener in here, maybe some raw honey or something. And that would be just fabulous.
Yeah, well, and also the parsnip is already a little bit sweet
and the
from
parsnip
itself.
is actually incredibly sweet. So did you roast these first? Oh no, you did the sous vide.
Sous vide, yes.
Okay, so we did the sous vide, which is this very fancy machine, which basically, well, it encapsulates the parsnip in this case in a liquid, in plastic, and then you bathe it in water, and it cooks it very, very slowly. It's kind of like a marinade. You could easily do this at home just by, let's say, blanching, for instance, in milk. But we're using almond milk today, of course. All right.
All right. Mousseline, already the chocolate is inside and give also a full mouth flavor. This one we put on the plate.
This is one of the most gorgeous things I've had in a really long time. It's so surprising. Fancy.
So, and then I was surprised about the taste of the bee pollen.
I got this man to eat bee pollen. My
eat
life
it,
is complete.
I never eat it before, but it is the taste of course, honey, but also the matcha tea, the green tea.
Yeah.
I like it very much, and especially with the sweet of the pastinaak, also with the chocolate inside. You put a little bit the bee pollen on top of the mousseline of the parsnip, like this.
Bee pollen, I must say, besides chia, I think it's my other favorite superfood. Bee pollen has every single vitamin and mineral known to man inside. It is the most complete food on the planet, believe it or not. And this is bee pollen. You're not hearing that incorrectly. This is pollen from the little legs of the bees. They go around collecting the pollen from the flowers. And when they enter the hive, the bee pollen collectors, they just have these little sort of catches that scrape the bee pollen off the legs of the bee. And they don't take it all, don't worry. It's just selectively they do this. Bee pollen is a complete protein, which means it contains all 9 essential amino acids. So it's a wonderful choice for vegans and vegetarians. It is loaded with antioxidants. And a really important thing to remember is bee pollen has a lot of enzymes in it. So raw foodists are constantly talking about this whole thing, enzymes, why they're so important. Enzymes help us digest the food that we're eating. So the more raw food we eat, the higher more enzymes we're getting from our diet instead of making them in our bodies. And this will help us not feel like having a nap after lunch. Yay.
From the cauliflower, we will make a crunch. We're going to bake it in coconut oil.
I also got him to use coconut oil. Can I talk about that right now?
Yeah, of course, you can do.
Okay. So although we're not really aware of this so much, cooking with olive oil, I will come out and say it, is borderline dangerous. We now know, I know you're laughing.
You don't tell that.
It has been proven now that eating fats that have been heated past their smoke point, the smoke point is the temperature at which a fat burns. Eating a burned fat is oxidized. Oxidized fats cause free radical damage in the body and are carcinogenic. It means they cause cancer, okay? So eating heat-stable fats, cooking with heat-stable fats is really, really important. So olive oil's smoke point is about, it depends on the quality of the olive oil, but we're looking at 150 to about 170 degrees Celsius. When you're frying, it's really difficult to determine how high that the oil is actually going. So I prefer to use 2 oils when I cook. One is coconut oil, especially if I'm working with or cooking for a vegan. Another one is ghee. Ghee is clarified cow's butter. It becomes pure saturated fat. It's amazing. Now, saturated fat, again, we don't need to be afraid of this, especially with coconut oil. Coconut oil contains a special fat called a medium chain triglyceride, or MCTs. And medium chain triglycerides are in fact burned as a carbohydrate. So if you're an athlete or just an active person, even if you just like to go for a walk, coconut oil is amazing because it is not stored like fats are. It actually is burned. So it's a great thing to do pre or post workout, even if you had a busy day running around after children or something. So Onno's just heating the coconut oil.
Yeah, and I only use the top of the cauliflower.
Yeah,
So we make a crunch of it.
then I would take this and make soup or mousseline.
And no waste. So mousseline or a nice cream soup.
Yes, no wasting. So yeah, he's just taking the tops off. We're gonna make a little crunchy thing.
Okay, put it in the oil. And we're going to bake it for 1 minute. When it's a nice blonde color, it's still crispy inside. In the meantime, with also the cauliflower, the roasters, we make nice slices, very thin, and we marinate it with olive oil and aceto blanco, white aceto balsamico. And that one is infused and marinated for 24 hours. We put on top of the pastinaak of the parsnip mousseline and also the bee pollen. Like that.
Has anyone ever tried eating raw cauliflower before? Yeah? Okay, good. That's excellent. It's funny, when I talk to people about raw foods, there's a lot of misconceptions about what you can and can't eat raw. In fact, you can eat most things raw. It's just not very common. I mean, I even was talking to someone the other day who didn't know you could eat beets raw. And raw beetroot is one of my favorite things. So yeah, give it a shot.
So a little bit pepper, a little bit salt we put in. And after baking, we put it on the paper, so the most fat is going out. It's not too fatty.
That is good. When I actually use coconut oil, because I don't want everything tasting like Hawaii, I will get the kind that is non-flavored, the neutral flavored coconut oil rather. Sometimes it's appropriate to use the really coconutty flavored one if I'm going to do a granola or I want to do a coconut soup or something. But for the most part, I stick with a neutral flavored coconut oil just because we don't want everything, tasting like a tropical vacation.
Okay, cauliflower is coming now.
Yeah. So Onno just took the tops from the Romanesco cauliflower.
So good.
And yes, just like this. Ah, these are so cute.
You can mix it with almond milk.
Yeah,
if you
so
want,
we're going to
Sarah.
actually poach these in the almond milk, which is great. They're like little hats. As you can tell, I'm pretty enamored with food. I just think it's the most fascinating thing. So this is some almond milk we made up. Just pour a little bit in, and we'll start heating this in a minute.
Okay, with cauliflower.
Good. Okay, I'll put this on. And these just need about a minute in the warm milk.
These also smell like a hazelnut now.
Yeah, it's amazing how it changes. Yes.
If you want, you can dress it on the plate.
Thank you. Okay, I'll just.
Klein pannetje nog voor misschien.
Onno, could you also do this technique just in the oven? Because I've done roasted cauliflower before.
Yeah, we do whole ones and we put it in the oven.
Okay,
like
nice.
what we do with the celeriac now.
Does it still get as crispy?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, the Romanesco only boils for 1 minute in the almond milk. So still a little bit raw inside. But then you have the flavor of the almond milk around your Romanesco.
This just takes the raw sort of bitter edge off of it.
And it's still nice green, but you see the almond milk is around the Romanesco.
Yes.
Put it on. Okay, and then we have some nice watercress, also very flavorful. It's a nice combination with the cauliflower.
Purslane is loaded with chlorophyll, which is plant blood, which actually works the same way in our body. You can actually take chlorophyll as a supplement. It's a good thing to do this time of year to build up your blood stores for the winter. Can I do the fancy part with the choo-choo?
You can do it, you like it, huh? I've here, that one.
Okay.
And I've also the green one for you.
Okay, sweet. I'm just going to take this and using, I can't remember the name now. You know what this is, a grater.
Microplane, yeah.
Thank you, that's
Yeah.
it. Just on top. And this looks totally psychedelic. It's like, it's like confetti, but all natural.
And you have a lot of flavor when you eat it raw, huh?
Yeah. Yahoo!
That's so nice.
Oh.
Flowers. Oh! And for the finishing touch, we have the almond milk. We heat it around 50, 60 degrees, and we make a foam of it.
Of course there's foam. You know, I actually joked to Onno, I said, If we're going to make foam in this workshop, I'm not doing it.
No, but it's very tasteful.
It is. It's actually amazing. You know, I'm learning to appreciate this higher level of cuisine, and it's very cool with foam actually because it gives you the taste without actually a physical sensation in your mouth. It's like flavored air. It's really, it's super cool. Yeah, and it's also really nice to eat flowers.
It's nice, it's vegetarian, it's almost 2-star Michelin dish.
That's right. Almost.
So we do the foam like this.
Let there be foam.
Voila.
Bravo.
And everybody gonna taste this after, huh?
Yes,
Yep.
you're all going to get a chance to taste. All right, so I'm going to get the blender out here. I'm actually going to do a raw chocolate savory sauce to go with the celeriac. Is anyone familiar with mole? Mole is a Mexican sauce. It's a bit of a misconception that it's a chocolate sauce. It has cocoa in it, but that's just one of the many, many spices. And you know, often there's 35 spices in this thing. I'm just going to do it my way. It's a little bit simpler for you at home, and I'm going to be using some superfoods. Thanks, Onno. Okay. Lovely.
I'm gonna assist you.
Yes. So the first thing, we're going to use dates. These are medjool dates. Medjool dates, you can tell they're medjool dates because they're really large and very, very juicy. And these have the most amazing caramel flavor. If you're someone who has a bit of a sweet tooth and you're trying to cut back on candy, keep 2 or 3 of these in your bag. I mean, half of one is plenty. So I'm going to start with 6. If you want to help me pit these.
6 dates?
I need 4 more. 3 more. You can use any other date you like. If you're going to use a softer date, or sorry, a smaller date or one that's a bit firmer, just soak it for an hour or so it softens up. You could probably do this with raisins as well. It might be nice. Maybe even dried apricots. All right. So got some dates. Yeah.
Garlic.
1 clove of garlic. Yes, please. This is raw cacao powder, not to be confused with cocoa powder. Cocoa powder has been heated, so all of the nutrition in it is actually, most of it is gone. But raw cacao is, first of all, it's one of the highest sources of magnesium in nature. And magnesium is a natural muscle relaxant. Makes you feel really groovy. So if you're feeling a bit stressed, this is another reason why we kind of reach for chocolate in those times of panic. It's not really the chocolate we're craving, it's the magnesium. Isn't that cool? So your brain is actually smarter than you think. All right, I'm going to take 4 tablespoons of this. And it's also very much like cocoa. It doesn't really have so much of a flavor until you put it with something a little bit sweet. So I'm going to put in 4 tablespoons of that. It's also loaded with antioxidants and all kinds of gorgeous stuff. Clove of garlic. Thank you.
Pepper, I have a half one for you.
Yeah, that might be a little much, actually. Let's just do
Okay.
it like that. I'm going to put the chipotle in, too.
And the seed in? That's quite hot, huh?
Yeah, we should probably take some out. Yeah. All right, no seeds. My hands are going to be on fire. We're also going to use chipotle in this. Chipotle is a smoked jalapeno. Really, really good for your metabolism, if you want to increase your metabolism. Most hot foods actually do that, all peppers. So I'm going to start with just like maybe, might be a little much. This stuff is hot. That's probably good. We'll see how that goes. Other ingredients. We're going to use cumin. This is ground cumin. You can, of course, buy the whole seeds and pound them up if you like to. This is wonderful. I actually add a lot of cumin to my dishes because it has a really nice, rich, smoky meatiness. And with the smoked chipotle, it's really going to be quite just deep, I'm going to say. A little bit of cinnamon, not too much because we put cinnamon into the celeriac. And because it's going to go with the celeriac, I don't want it to be overwhelmingly cinnamony. So that's
How
probably
many
good.
cloves you want, Sarah?
If you could do, let's do 3 or 4. Yeah. So we're going to also use the cloves. And then I have oregano here. You can use, you can also use dried oregano if you like, but let's use fresh since it's here. Lovely.
Close.
Thank you. So 3 or 4.
This is wonderful,
Nice.
huh?
Yeah, it smells amazing. Can you smell the oregano from there? So good. Okay, cloves. These go in. And tomato. We're also going to put in a little bit of bell pepper or capsicum, or what do you call this here? Paprika?
Paprika, red paprika.
Yeah. This just adds a nice flavor without a lot of spice.
Tomato, you want the seed in? Or?
Yeah, seeds in is fine.
Yeah?
Sure.
1 or 2?
Let's just start with the 1 and see how the liquid is. So the tomato is just going to add, again, more flavor, a little bit of acidity, and some liquid. But we're going to use almond milk to blend this up, of course. So I don't know, just eyeball it. Start with that. And salt. We need a little salt.
Your
Thank
favorite
you.
one.
My favorite one. It's so good. So, I don't know, a couple teaspoons. And I believe that's everything. So you can do this in a food processor as well as a blender, whatever you have at home. About 30 seconds.
Ja, kom ik brengen.
Whoa,
Mag ik deze
look at
meenemen?
that. That's chocolate sauce. Okay, I'll just give it a little taste here for seasoning. Hope you guys like it spicy.
It's tasteful.
So here's the, wow, oh, it's so beautiful. That's the finished one through the magic of television. Okay. I'm gonna add a little more salt. And a little more almond milk. Just to get the fluidity. And where did I put it there? Okay. Should be good. So what you taste with this is not overwhelmingly chocolatey. Again, it's really just a spice. I better get a new spoon. It's really just part of the spice mix. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it. I was surprised about this sauce. It's great.
That's right. That's right.
It's more spicy than last week, but
Yeah, it's a little
it's
spicy.
Saturday. It's okay.
Wake up. Yeah, it's really nice. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah?
Yep.
That's the one out of the oven. 1 hour, 20 minutes. Of course, we prepare in advance. That's the one sliced.
Gorgeous.
So everybody can taste after.
My dad would love this plate. I actually thought about him when I came to eat at your restaurant.
Oh,
It
great.
says on the bottom, chocoholic. It's my father to a T. Yep. All right.
We put it over, or we're gonna dip? What's the best way?
Let's do it over.
Yeah?
Yeah. So the spices in this really complement the sweetness and the creaminess of the celeriac.
Yeah.
And of course, the cinnamon and the clove and the celeriac are really brought out by the mole sauce. It's pretty gorgeous. And it's totally raw. The sauce is totally raw. So it's loaded with enzymes, tons of antioxidants. I love making food that tastes this good that is actually good for you as well. Okay,
Thanks, Sarah.
thank you. Bravo. So.